What is the most successful lie in the history? If you tell the truth you won't be in trouble. Yeah, Mom. I fell for that a few times and learned that lesson quickly. During WW2, the British put faked documents on a corpse and dropped the body in the waters to be found by the Axis. It detailed an attack that never happened. Here's the best part. The plans for D-Day were found in a similar manner. The actual plans. But they were ignored cause the Nazi leaders thought it was just another ruse. One of the most impressive ones was when Great Britain convinced everyone during World War II that carrots were the reason why their vision was great when it was really the recently discovered airborne interception radar technologies. I still know people that are convinced eating carrots as kids will ensure 20/20 vision for life. The lie that made a man the ruler of a third or quarter of humankind. Darius the Great, r. 522-486 B.C., governed the Achaemenid Empire at its peak. His rule extended from the Indus Valley to mainland Greece and from the Scythian steppes to Egypt. A remarkably high and possibly unparalleled percentage of the world population were his subjects. Darius reorganized the satrapies, which made the administrative system of his empire more efficient, and introduced major financial reforms as well. It was never a secret that Darius became the king of kings after a successful coup. He and a small group of other aristocrats, primary sources refer to 7 men in total, infiltrated the residence of the previous ruler and killed him after a brief clash with his guards. Shortly afterwards, Darius, who was also a member of the royal house, emerged as the leader of the conspirators and assumed full power. So far so good. Things become strange when it comes to the identity of Darius' predecessor. As far as the primary sources are concerned, Cyrus the Great, r. 559-530 B.C., had 2 sons, Cambyses, r. 530-522 B.C., and Bardia. The former succeeded him as king of kings, while the latter was given governorship over the eastern provinces. Fearful of opposition, Cambyses had his brother assassinated, but kept it a secret. Then he undertook the campaign that ended up bringing Egypt into the Persian fold. While Cambyses was in Egypt, he started acting cruelly and erratically, suspected everyone, disrespected the local traditions and the sort. Then a rebellion broke out back in Persia led by a Magus, Zoroastrian priest, named Gamada. The man claimed to be Bardia, and the people, ignorant of the latter's death, flocked to his banner. It also helped that he took short-term populist measures such as tax cuts. Cambyses rushed home to quell the revolt, but died on the journey. His death was listed as an accident or even a suicide out of desperation for the usurpation. Gamada got to rule as Bardia and even took over the latter's harem. Almost nobody suspected he was an impostor, because on top of everything else he also bore an uncanny physical resemblance to the dead prince. The first man to suspect something was off was a nobleman named Otanes, who would later become one of Darius' 6 companions. Otanes knew about Gamada's existence and was also aware that at some point his ears had been cut off as a punishment. So he asked his daughter, who was Bardia's, and now Gamada's, wife, to check his ears while he slept. The truth was brought to the light. Needless to say, the story was very convenient for Darius. By killing Gamada, he saved the empire from a fraudulent, cunning and ruthless liar who had gone as far as to assume a dead man's identity and risk civil war in order to take the throne for himself. Darius simply punished him for his crimes and reinstated the royal office to the house it belonged to, the Achaemenid dynasty. But what if the whole story was a lie? What if there was no Gamada, and the man Darius killed was the real Bardia? Indeed, scholars have noticed a lot of problems with the traditional narrative, apart from its convenience. How could the real Bardia's death be kept secret for so long from everyone except a simple Magus, and what for? How likely is it that Bardia had a doppelganger who had also the knowledge, courage and brains necessary to take his place at the right moment? And how is it possible that not even Bardia's wives and inner circle were able to see through Gamada's lies? Some scholars go as far as to suspect that Cambyses' madness might have been the product of Darius' propaganda. Herodotus, for example, narrates that the king looted Egyptian temples, insulted the local gods and even killed the sacred bull Apis. The problem is, none of that appears in any contemporary Egyptian source. In fact, there are inscriptions showing that Cambyses honored the bull that died in 524 BC with a rich sarcophagus. If things were so, it cannot be excluded that Cambyses was also assassinated by Darius, who we know served as his spearbearer. His death might have prompted his brother Bardia to take power, since Cambyses was childless. Darius proceeded to eliminate him too and then created the lie about Gamada. Of course, it cannot be excluded that Bardia did indeed rebel against Cambyses. That doesn't change the crux of the matter, which is the story about Gaumata. So there you have it. One of the most powerful monarchs of antiquity and a possible lie that went unquestioned for millennia by almost everyone. Maybe in the old days, but there was a time I used to believe without a doubt that Undertaker and Kane were brothers, and Kane wore a mask because Undertaker threw acid on his face out of animosity. I acknowledge that I have read and agree to the above terms and conditions. We don't know the most successful lie because it's a lie we don't know of yet. We are experiencing higher than normal call volume. Your call is very important to us. Every single customer service line. Edit my first awards, with ANS, ever. Thank you. God wants you to give money to the church. Edit why do I have 78 notifications? Please listen carefully as our menu items have recently changed. What a disappointing thread. I was hoping to hear stories of bluffs during battle maneuvers or historical political intrigue. Instead, just a bunch of pithy one-liners. Blah. You are not beautiful, but you could be with this product. Iceland and Greenland. Fat will make you fat. Eating that full of sugar pre-made meal won't.